This is the tale of Gilgagnash the Grondal and the origin story of the Grondal warriors by Ryan Kaufman, a.k.a. Champions Voices, a.k.a. Writer Ryan. Lean back and enjoy this wonderful Grondal poem slaughtered by artificial voices.
In the age before the cataclysm, when birdsong is still unsung, and there lie lands untouched by sun, the god king roams his kingdom, Gilgagnash, he is called, and his mother is Fear, the titan of wolves. The sun does not set without his permission. Alphas do not go home to their wives without his leave. And if he sees a Grondal in the field, he stomps it out like vermin. They are nothing to him. So great is his strength that to even see him is to anguish in the grip of his power. Soon, there is no relief for the Grondal people. The Grondal send warriors to oppose him, but his teeth are ferocious. His groans make them quake in fear. Now, even in their homeland of Ikab, they weep. Gilgagnash marches all day and stalks all night. What else can be done but to pray to the gods for deliverance? The Titans are annoyed too at power so copious. They grumble.
Why make him so, pieces? Fewer, your brat runs rampant. And now we must endure the entire world waiting.
Kenzu is king of my children,
says Fear.
And their princely protector. I won't back down.
But the Titans take pity upon the Grondal's grief. And from the earth, they sculpt a mound of mud, twice as tall as any Grondal, 4 times as large around, and bless it with life, a hero for the people. Thus is born Gilgagnash, of no mother, and by no father, loved by no one, guided by no one. Gilgagnash is orphaned upon the land. Now Grondal shepherds shake with fear.
Some mysterious menace is massacring all our sheep. At night the screams thunder through the thickets. Kinza was bad enough. We never imagined things could get worse.
Murmurs of this malefactor reach the god king, and Kenzu sets out to sword it. When he stumbles upon Gilgagnash, the god king stops. But his hesitance is hasty, and he proceeds to kick some ass. Up and down the mountain Kenzu positively pummels Gilgagnash, who, untrained in technique, has strength but no strategy. The god king administers an ass whopping that would have atomised any other Grondal 1,000 times over. But although KO'd, Gilgagnash is not killed. Kenzu, worldly and wise, suspects he is dealing with something sacred. Only a titan could have created this creature, and he knows better than to anger the gods. So with a word of warning, he leaves Gilgagnash to lick his wounds. On the mountaintop, the hero lays bloodied. An old priest finds him. The crafty old coot goes to town, and there procures a sage concubine, Ova, a gatekeeper known for her wisdom, culture, and beauty.
Go to the beast and make him into a man,
he tells her. Ova enjoys a challenge and finds her quarry on the mountaintop. She mounts him and teaches him the many principles of pleasure, all those known to this world and many in the next. She blows his mind in many ways, and having taught him the arts of love, Ova taught him the art of war and found Gilgagnash an avid student. Finally, she feels Nash has the knowledge he needs.
Now,
she tells him,
there is one thing which you must know, and only one way to understand it.
With a knife, she carves into his brain. She cuts away his fear and throws the gristle into a grinder. Sausage to be saved for later, a gatekeeper gourmet. Then she imbues his body with iron, replacing his right arm with ore and alloy. Then she leaves her creation and returns to town. Soon on, there is a Grondal wedding in Ikabin, a happy affair with food and festivities. The bride and groom are parted by a roar from a thunder's throat.
Who dares without my permission?
Gilgagnash stands glowering at the Grondals. The kids start to cry, and old women wet themselves. Kenzu grabs the groom and tosses him into the trees. Then he kicks the cake and barks at the bridesmaids.
Bring me the wedding wine,
he demands.
I want it all.
Excuse me,
comes a voice.
But where is your invitation?
Kenzu the god king turns in fury, but the son of fear sees Gilgagnash, his mohawk majestic, silver arm shining. The battle is instantly on. Kenzu's teeth tear at Gilgagnash, but they shatter on his iron arm. The god king's bellowing groans find no fear in Nash's brain, and then the punching starts, so much punching, like the quaking of the earth as each blow. Nash smashes Kenzu's face, and the god king returns the rage. They can't even see where they're stepping. They flatten the fiesta and violate the village. All across town, the terrible twins tumble. They tear up the trees and roll into the river. The fight is so fierce, the water is awakened, and it floods down the fields into Kenza's own city. The Fenrir folk are overwhelmed by waves. Their drowning cries somehow pierce the pugilists, who stop and together move heaven and earth to dam the river, thus creating Lake Nioa. Kenzu is cowed by the courage of his opponent.
You are not the Grondal who groveled before me.
No,
Says Nash, shattering Kenza's knees and forcing him to kneel. Kenzu Hadris awaits the killing cut, but Nash, hearing Ova in his heart, tells him,
heed my words, and we can end this war. Don't fucking come to Wickham anymore.
Nash is now a heralded hero. The Grondal people welcome him home. The land lies in pieces, but in peace and life begins anew. But Kenzu Hadris is unsettled in his surrender. He dwells on Nash like a hungry man on a honeycomb, like a bridegroom on his bride. In the middle of the night, he wakes quaking with anger. So Kenzu again enters the lands of Ikuben, not as a conqueror but covertly, spying, seeking, slinking from here to there, watching his recent rival in wrath. How could another being be his equal? Or worse yet, best him? Kenzu cannot stay away. His obsession is overwhelming, and then a Grondal girl sees him and screams. Kenzu kills the kid, dashing her head against the wall, and Gilgagnash awakes from his slumber. He rushes outside and sees his enemy splashed in blood, and Nash burns with molten anger. Nash grips the God King in his massive mitts, and cruelly he crushes the Fenrir's face.
Fjord, I pray to you.
He calls.
Give me leave to crack your son's skull and end this.
But fear denies him. Gilgagnash, who fears no gods, kills the God King anyway and shreds the pieces of his body like bread at a wedding. He calls to his people.
Come eat of this beast, partake of his strength, make it your feast, celebrate his defeat. Now your dessert, eat and be afraid no more.
But fear will not be so easily defied. Her son has been sacrificed. She will have justice. She snatches up Gilgagnash, and they hasten into the hills.
You arrogant task!
She says,
Your lack of fear has doomed you to death, and its unforeseen consequences will kill many, but you first of all.
Gilgagnash was powerless in the claws of the Titan and could do nothing as she flung him into the bubbling cauldron of fire, the violent vat of Volcanus. There he burst into cinders and ash which fell on the people of Ikuben, and forever after, they kept his covenant. Carve out fear, embrace iron, and eat your enemies. Although afterwards the Grondal grew great and powerful, the demon folk soon heard of the death of the God King and sketched out schemes to enslave the city of the moon. But that is a tale for another time.
Thank you for tuning in, and a special thank you to writer Ryan for all the help. See you in Massina. Anne's ran out.